Nashville, Tennessee. Play full time for a living, and I'm very happy and thankful to be in this position. In my time in Nashville, I've played a lot of gigs down on Broadway and a fair few on the road. I've done one or two sessions, which has been really interesting to see just how far I have to go before I'm, a more completed and consistent guitarist. I really like that chord. It's unreal. Okay, so today, look, I wanted to talk about something that I experience and I love talking about, which is better scale knowledge. I know a lot of people don't like scales or the concept of learning them, but I think it's really important. And I'm going to talk about some logical ways that I've found to practice scales and logical ways to perhaps explore them in a more musical context, so you can actually perhaps achieve something that'll get you the gig as opposed to just because there's so much you can do with this, knowing a scale can really change how well you can navigate the fretboard, how well you can create chords, how well you can navigate a piece of music. And if anything, I know a lot of people don't want to learn this stuff, but learning anything will allow you to do more and explore new sounds and find your identity in a better way. I'll end on a 6-note. Right, let's dig into exercise 1, or really just part 1, which is going to be everyday practice. So I'm going to talk about the first way that I use to break out of standardized scale boxes. And that would be intervals. Now, primarily when people hear about playing a scale in intervals, they think like, oh, okay, I'll play my G major scale in thirds, or sevenths. Perhaps they practice it like that, with dyads and single notes. That's good and well. But I don't really hear much chatter about pattern-based intervallic practice. And I think that's a really interesting thing. I'm sure a lot of people actually do talk about it, but I haven't come across much of it yet. And that's forcing your brain to think very specifically. So I'm going to play the first 3 notes of G major scale, and then starting from the 4th degree, I'm going to play everything in thirds as single notes until I reach the root again. So this is how that would sound. So I had to think for a second there, switching patterns. Now, if I'm going to continue that, it'd go. Alright, there we go. Now what if I wanted to do single note, and then a dyad, single note, dyad. So that means I'm going to play the pattern as single notes, and the 2nd and the 5th are going to be played as 2 notes played together, or a dyad. So this. That's a tough one to think about. Perhaps you could go down 4 notes, chromatically back up to 2 notes up. So in that case, you might go like 1, 7, 6, 5, chromatic up, 2, 3, 4. etc. What in doing this, what you allow yourself to do is open up. And you know, I've made some mistakes in there, and I'm happily going to leave them in there because I believe in honesty in practice and trying to be as honest as I can as I record these videos. Look, that's just one exercise and one way to start thinking of it. You know, if you don't want to get into all that, then a quick logical thing would just be, I practice my thirds, my fourths and stuff, but start practicing them moving horizontally along the fretboard. And that is going to be the next thing I want to talk about. Okay, horizontal playing. Very overlooked part of the fretboard for many people. I got told to think of the fretboard as 6 pianos, because you can think of it like that. And to play the G major scale starting on every root note on every string and go as far as I could. And you know, do it, say one finger and then 2 fingers. So like... Honesty in practice though, I messed up and I need to work on that. Then I began to look at it as how many different ways can I play through it on one string, you know, versus different patterns on 2 strings. So on 2 strings it might look like this. Or I could go... all different ways to navigate playing it across. And then I could of course do, you know, 3 octaves. And then, you know, you could do that in any combination or way you want. You could go, go up the scale after going a certain amount or whatever. But basically, horizontal playing, as boring as it might seem, will allow you to really jump from place to place and navigate the fretboard in a more interesting way. Because, you know, say you're playing over a G, and you're there, and you're playing all this cool stuff. I mean, I'm not there, but... you want to be able to add all that stuff in. This will allow you to do that. So just, you know, a quick recap of that. Practice the scale just not ending down here. So many different ways to practice those little patterns that once you get them into your playing, you find yourself in a live position, you know, maybe go... You're like, oh, where do I go? You navigate something like that. Alright. We're going to look at counterpoint next. This is crazy. This is the most insane exercise I've ever had because it's on you. And what I mean by that is whenever you hear me playing random stuff, you know, it's sometimes it's musical, I guess, and sometimes it's not. But a lot of it is just exploring different textures over a bass note. So again, we're in G, and what we're going to do is we're going to play a logical way and then a very free way. I'm going to play a dyad and then 3 notes. And the order is going to be low, high, low. And so I'll show you an example of that, and I'll see, you know, see if you can pick up what I mean. play same concept but more free. Spending time doing this, although it may seem silly, is a really great way to get to grips with any key. You are forced to hear in that key and hear the different intervals in that key, to hear different ways to navigate that key, to force yourself to move around the fretboard within that key. Now you can do it in a logical way. You could go and say, I'm going to play a dyad or a triad, and then, you know, as I did, 3 notes, down, up, down. Or you could do it in that I'm going to play a sequence of 8th notes, 6 8th notes, and then I'm going to play 3 dyads. But each time the rhythm has to go ba da 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 ba da 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 da. Try it now. All right, look, these are 3 kind of silly and almost under-explained on purpose ways to navigate the fretboard. And look, I'm going to tell you this as my sign-off. I could show you a book of every scalar pattern ever. You could go and read the entirety of Slominski's Thesaurus of Scales and Patterns, or like the Wayne Krantz book, and it's exhaustive. But all you're doing is reading it. I want to think of this as though I've given you the plot of land and now it's on you to model it and design and build the house. Or maybe I've given you the materials, but I want you to build it. If you do have questions or perhaps are stuck and want a new way to explore something, that's, you know, I'm happy to do so. People have done so for me. But for now, I wanted to give someone a toolbox and then say, like, I need you to complete the task. And they say, what's the task? And I go, well, I don't know. What are you thinking of making? And here's the toolbox so you can do it, but you need to dig in and explore further. And whether that is combining all 3 of these things, or not doing anything at all, or putting it in your DAW and practicing it to a metronome, blah, 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 that's fine. But for me, these are some really logical ways to begin the process of breaking out of playing major scale patterns and just playing boring stuff, man. No one wants to do that. It's really difficult to get out of these patterns. But once you do, your ear opens up and it's so freeing. So look, I hope this little lesson helped. It is kind of for someone specific, and I know he's been asking for this, and I hope this helps you, mate. I wanted to put this down somewhere where you can continually come back to it. But if it helps anyone else, it's really awesome. It's my first time trying to do a teaching video. I'm not really sure if I'm doing the right thing. My method of teaching is rubbish or not. There's so many brilliant guitarists on YouTube who know how to explain things. As much as I love things in depth, I'm kind of the cat who likes to be told, here's the basic thing, go figure it out and go learn on the gig. So if you want more stuff from me, perhaps more scales or chords, or like, here's things I use on gigs that I find really handy, just let me know. I'll do it. Yeah, otherwise I'm excited to make some more videos and, you know, play. Also, I just want to say, everything you've heard today has come from the John Mayer plugin by Neural. It was gifted to me by Ryan, and I just, you've heard how it sounds clean and it's unbelievable, but I've put my original Zendrive in front of it and I just play a bit to end us out, because this thing takes pedals and sounds amazing.